very happy new year. And let's look together at how we can make this an incredible year for you, for me, for all of us. And I think I'd like to start off with just some really great ideas on what I've seen really makes the most incredible changes in people's lives. So, in the last few years of working with people from all over the world, really, um, I found there were some key things. I know this is a time when everyone's kind of gearing up for bringing about change in their life. And I really think that's something we should be doing throughout the year, anytime that the inspiration strikes. But hey, anytime's a good time. um, so I'm wondering if you're online and if you've got something you want to say. What are some of the changes you're wanting to bring about in your life? What are some of the things that you would like to see happen differently? And how can I support you with that? How can we support each other with that? Um, how can we all kind of, instead of trying to just outdo each other, be better than each other, um, how can we inspire each other? How can we create a sense of community where we care about each other's development and growth and progress and happiness and peace and love and all the things that really matter? So if you've got any particular things you're working towards, if you have any particular things you'd like to work towards, yeah, write it down in the comments, and I'd love to hear that. And perhaps we can all brainstorm. I've got some very interesting things that I wanted to share with you, but let's grab a cup of tea and see what comes up. So I was kind of going over this idea of how what it takes to improve the quality of our life, and I realized the most important thing um, is not about what most people think, which is, oh, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to define new goals. That's where the way a lot of people thinks. I think I want to change the outer world, and then I'll get great results. And I say, you know what? Even if you change the outer world, you're still bringing you, the same you, into that new outer world. And even if you have everything that you're able to, you desire, everything that you wish for, if you change everything, still you're bringing you into that world. And if you're not happy in the world you're in right now, then chances are you won't be very happy with the world you create. Because the bottom line is, perhaps, I can't be sure, not until we really talk, but perhaps you're not happy with you. You're not happy with the way things have turned out for you. And if that's the case, the first change that needs to begin is with you. After all, you've heard of this particular thing where they talk about having, being, and doing. And most people are focused on having. They want to accumulate money, wealth, fame, power, whatever it might be, things, right? Having. And then others are focused on doing, because doing is like they want to travel, they want to be able to go places and do things. But no matter what you have, no matter what you do, the most important thing that's going to be constant and consistent in all of that is you. And you say, well, that's the toughest thing to change anything about you, right? I mean, when someone tries to change a habit, let's say smoking or an addiction, or tries to change even the way they behave or the way they react, it isn't easy. It's not easy at all. It's definitely very um, difficult, very challenging, very, it seems almost daunting and impossible to be able to change anything about yourself. And so most people think that, well, that's not going to happen. So let me just choose the easier option and let me change my goals. Let me change my, let me go back to the gym. That'll change everything. And I'm here to tell you that It might change some things, but it won't change everything. If you really want to get into a deep level of change for yourself and for your life, my first tip to you is this: change your breath. Say what? Change your breath. That's right. Change the way you breathe. So, what that means is this: most people breathe from their chest, from up here, and their breathing is shallow. And because their breathing is shallow, something very interesting happens. 80% of your blood vessels are actually at the bottom of the lungs. And because that is so, they're not getting enough oxygen. And when your body is not getting enough oxygen, it tends to be in a uh, anxious position. It tends to feel stressed and tense and worried because it's not getting the oxygen it needs. You don't realize this because this is part of your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system behaves automatically. Therefore, you don't realize that this is what's going on. But because your body isn't getting sufficient oxygen, since the air isn't reaching all the way down to the bottom of your lungs, your body is in a state where it is in stress. So, starting right from there, you're likely to respond to life in a very stressful, anxious, fearful way. When you change your breath, you start breathing deeply. It's one of the first yogic practices is to breathe deeply. And to breathe deeply means is something also called diaphragmatic breathing. And diaphragmatic breathing means that when you breathe, your belly will move in and out as you breathe, not your chest. If your chest is going in and out as you breathe, then you're not breathing correctly. So, the way to know this, whether you're breathing correctly or not, is just to lie down and put a book on your belly. When you put a book on your belly, you'll be able to see whether that book is going up and down as you breathe or not. If it is going up and down, then you're breathing correctly, right? It's not that you do this all the time, but it's just to check. If your breathing is wrong and the book is not going up and down as you breathe on your belly, then you need to breathe deeper and push the air in further till that starts to happen. Now, this may take some practice. It's almost like twisting your brain around to change your breathing pattern. That change of breath needs to happen till it becomes automatic. So you might use the book on your belly and while lying down as a way to train yourself. It's sort of the training wheels of bringing about this change. But gradually, as you do this, you'll start to see that your breathing will actually go deeper naturally. And as it goes deeper, you will start doing this all the time. You will start breathing deeply throughout the day. That's the goal. So it can start with a few minutes every day, and then you start doing it throughout the day at intervals whenever you remember. And eventually, the goal is to try to make it all the time. You'll find yourself more relaxed, you'll find yourself more calm, and you'll be able to take on much more. You'll have more bandwidth for stress and tension, and you'll be able to deal with things a lot better. I'm saying not saying that you'll never get stressed. Please don't misunderstand this. And I'm not saying that you'll never get worked up. You will sometimes, but you will reduce the amount of tension experienced in your body and therefore in your mind. The second thing I would like to suggest is to change your thoughts. So the most important thing to change, really, if you look at how people think, the most important, rather the most recurring thoughts people tend to have, from what I've noticed, is they tend to think critically, judgmentally, negatively about whatever is going on with themselves and with others and with life and with people and with everything. We tend to move towards the negative. So is the solution therefore positive thinking? Uh, this has been a theory put forward. Norman Vincent Peale and people like that talked about, think about thinking positively. I tend to disagree. It's not enough to think positively. The first thing to do is to really challenge the negative, the judgmental negative thinking. Just thinking positively on top of your negative thinking is just putting a layer of whipped cream, let's say, or icing upon a pile of dirt or trash. It's not quite enough. The 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 key is to be able to actually stop the negative, the stop the judgmental thinking by taking charge of your mind. So what's really important to remember here is this is your mind. Just as you have a car, you have a house, you have a body, you have a mind, and you can instruct it. And no one's told us that. It's always instructing us as to what to think and what is true and what things mean and what's right and what's wrong. It's always telling us, and we're just following it like robots. But what if you were to stop listening to your thoughts and to your mind? What if you were to stop believing anything it tells you? And what if you were to now direct it to focus on whatever it is you want to achieve or have or do or become? What if you were to direct your mind? What if you would direct your thoughts? I think that will make a huge change in your life. It has for me. Being able to tell my mind that, hey, we're not going there. I'm not interested in your opinion. I'm not interested in what you've got to say. Your judgments, your criticism, I'm sorry, are of no value to me. I have made a decision. I will not judge anyone. I have made a uh, clear resolution in my mind that even if someone wants to do the craziest of things, let them do it. That's their life. Not for me to sit here and judge them. It's not for me to um, try to tell them what they, to try to be better than them, because I'm not better than anyone. And I don't need to judge either myself or anyone else. So I think the most important thing really is to change your thoughts, start to actually take charge of them and direct them. And if you're sitting in a hypnotic trance with your thoughts buzzing through your mind, and your thoughts telling you this and that and the other, and you should have done this and shouldn't have done that, and how come, and what is wrong with you, stop. Just say this word: stop, stop, stop. You don't get to do that to me. I'm the boss of my mind. I will tell you where I want you to go. You're not the boss of me. Something like becoming a rebellious teenager. You can actually become the rebellious teenager with your mind. And gradually, instead of being the teenager, become the boss of your mind. Refuse to believe it. Refuse to obey it. Refuse to do what it says. Try it out. You'll be amazed at the quiet that suddenly occurs within your mind. I've been doing this for many years now, and it's such a tremendous relief. When I hear other people talking about the stuff that goes on in their head, it's really shocking once you've stopped. So it's like anything else. When you smoke, it seems like, well, there's no way to give it up. And when you're used to eating, let's say, sugar or eating meat, and someone tells you to give it up, you say, oh, no, 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 I can't do that. The same thing, if I tell you to stop believing your thoughts, then you're going to feel it's impossible, because the thoughts have been running the show in your mind all your life. So how can you possibly stop listening to them, believing them, obeying them? It seems absolutely impossible. But I'm here to tell you that it works. I've trained a lot of people in this, and they've found tremendous relief in being able to do that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here live um, on the Contemplations program, and would love to hear any of your comments, whether you agree, disagree, whether you like, dislike, or in any way have some experience around this. It's all welcome. And the third thing I want to share with you is to change your heart. No, I don't mean get a heart transplant or go out and, you know, have a change, but I mean have a change of heart, literally a change of heart. So what does that mean? A change of heart. A change of heart really is um, to become more heart centered, to approach life with your heart rather than with your head. When we approach life with our head, we're full of dualistic thinking. Things like, I like this, I don't like this. I agree with you, I disagree with you. I want to be right, and I don't want you to make me wrong. We're living in this dualistic thinking. We're always looking at the world from that lens. And based on that lens, we've got our shoulds and our should nots, which we're often not able to live up to. And most people are not able to live up to them. And the result of that is disappointment, frustration, anger at ourselves and others. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work to continue living life from your head. In your head, your mind can be your greatest enemy because it's always trying to control you. But the truth is, you're the one, you need to be the one in control, not your mind. And to do that, you want to be able to switch into your heart. And by heart, I mean your soul, your consciousness, your higher self, whatever name you want to give that. And from this place, well, you might say, okay, how do I access that? It's a tough thing to do. So no, no, no. If you call it tough and if you say it's tough, it will be tough, definitely, if you approach it with that attitude. But I'm here to tell you that you can actually slide into that place. You can just drop your awareness from your mind and your thoughts into your heart. And then look at the same situation with that, with consciousness, with awareness, with your heart, with a place of gentleness and tenderness, with non judgment, with acceptance, with compassion. And what you'll see is this: from that place of the heart, everything and everyone is wonderful. It is very easy to look at things and have no judgment about them. It is very easy to communicate your thoughts and feelings in a way that are not hurtful to others. It is very easy from that place to be able to um, enjoy life and to enjoy people and to enjoy everything. Now, it's not that it's challenging to do that, for sure, because we're in the habit of being in our head. It's challenging for me to do it. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. There are times I slip into my head and I'll start, if someone's coming to me with something really heady, particularly if they're being kind of critical or judgmental, or I perceive it as that, argumentative or whatever, my defense mechanism will come back and pull me out of my heart and into my head. And I know that I've every time I've had or got stuck in a argument or a conflict, it's been exactly that. I've lost out on the playfulness that came from being in my heart, from the uh, ability to take things lightly and to not get affected by them, that comes from being in the heart. Those are the times where I've gotten all serious and worked up and tense and all of that, which most people experience a lot. I've been working on this for a long time, so got a little bit of practice with it. But really, it is about practice. And I'm going to encourage you, just practice. Keep trying these things. Learn to speak from your heart. Learn to see things from your heart. See them with compassion, with love, with a space of generosity, with a space of acceptance of life as it is and people as they are. No one should do anything. No one should not do something. People will do what they do. No one needs to do things the way you would do them. Say, I would never do that. No, people are not you. They'll never do things the way you do it. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, my friends. And practice just more being in your heart. Change your heart. Change your heart. Have the change of heart means stepping into your heart more, not letting it be um, so much in the background and so absent from your life, but make it an active part of your life, and everything you do can become a heartfelt, a heartfelt experience. Try doing it. It will change everything in your life. So three things that will change everything. The first is change your breath, and you'll become more relaxed, more calm, more peaceful. I think that makes a huge difference. Change your thoughts is the second. And in that, I'd suggest stopping the judgment that you have towards yourself and others, and to learn to direct your thoughts, refocus them on whichever aspect of life you want to look at, whether that's the positive, the negative, whatever it might be. Sometimes you got to look at the negative. It's not always about being positive, but do it in a constructive way. If you're going to look at the negative, look at it from a constructive lens. If you're going to be critical with yourself, be constructive about it, not destructive. It's not about tearing yourself down and then you can't get up, but it's about saying, okay, how can I change this about my life? Of course, we have flaws, and of course, we have areas that need to change. Um, I have a lovely question here from Tonya, who is originally from Norway. Are you still there in Norway? We met, it was a long time back. Um, she says, I find that when I slip into my mind, breathing fully brings me back to my heart again. Thank you. That's a beautiful affirmation of what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm trying to say here. When you're in your mind, taking a deep breath, going from your head into your body, using the breath to bring you into your body, brings you to your heart. And when you're in your heart, the way you will see everything, be with everything, will just be more, will be kinder and more loving and more beautiful. So try it out. It's a short journey from here to here, from the head to the heart, right? And this is the vehicle that will take you there, your breath. So thank you, Tanya, for bringing that up. I hope you're well. And if there's anyone else who's got any questions, I'd love to take them on. If not, we'll wind up. Three things: change your breath, change your thoughts, and change your heart. Take a moment to contemplate that. Breath is such a powerful thing. Breath is the most powerful tool we have. You can shift gears from anger to peace just by taking a deep breath. You can shift gears from hate to love just by taking a deep breath. You can shift your entire experience of life from criticism and judgment by taking a deep breath. And that deep breath, as I was saying earlier, goes deep into your lungs, pushes the belly out, and it causes more oxygen to go into your body, which causes more serotonin to be released, which changes the way you see the world. So just these simple things, when put into practice, will then allow you, as you change your breath, you'll find changing your thoughts becomes easier. As you change your thoughts, you will find going into your heart and speaking from your heart becomes easier. It's just a simple process, and it begins with your breath. And I think every one of us has the ability to change our breath. Let's begin with that. And with that, I wish you a happy new year, a new life, and a new you. Keep in touch. I'll be on again from time to time doing these contemplations. We'll contemplate different topics, and I hope you'll join me. Wish you lots of love. Take care. Bye-bye.